Hello, dear Aries. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your March 2022 horoscope. This is if you have your sun, moon, or rising sign in the sign of Aries. And I get to say happy birthday to some of you early degree Aries, because the sun will move into your sign on the spring equinox, and that'll happen on March 20th. I'll get to that in a second, but let's start with March 2nd and March 3rd. We have a new moon in Pisces on March 2nd. We have Venus and Mars canoodling in the sign of Capricorn with Pluto, all happening at the same time. And we have Mercury and Saturn canoodling. And when I say canoodle in astrology, it means conjunction. That means that these planets are basically hugging each other, kissing each other, being together. And sometimes one will overpower the other. They don't really know who is who at the moment. But let's just say this. I feel this is going to be a very sweet, a very compassionate, a very dreamy new moon with the sign of Pisces, and you can use it in your friendships, your social circles, to connect in unusual ways, maybe explore some alternative healing if that's something that you have been thinking about. And you can also use this as a time to set some intentions around how you can gather more inspiration or more hope and faith in your life. And we are working with your 11th and 12th houses because that's where the planets are transiting right now, and 10th house. So we're working on that last quadrant in your chart. This is not natal chart. This is a generalized reading. So what I'm going to say, though, is that you'll feel some of these effects. Watch how your friends may go to bat for you, or how you get to actively help or rescue somebody because there's a crisis that may happen with one of your friends and they need your support, they need your wisdom, they need your leadership. And I realize that that doesn't always feel great because you're dealing with a crisis, but at the same time, it's what you do well, Aries. You have a way of being able to stay calm and cool and collected, and sometimes level-headed, a little impulsive, of course, but you go where angels dare to tread, and your friends may need that. You may have a group of people that are in a crisis that you have to lead the way. You have to be that military mindset, if you will, of going, I have a mission, I have a job to do, and I have to just get in there and help them out. You may be thinking about ways in which you can build teams right now. So if you're looking at it from a professional level, and you want a new job, this new moon this week, this first week of March, can give you the interviews, the offers, and really sell yourself on how you can lead. You may also find yourself making a decision to commit to something new. You may not take the action this week, but you can find that you finally make up your mind to say, I'm going to have a new friendship, or I'm going to belong to a new group. Now, this can bode well for you, especially single Aries. If you are wanting to meet somebody new, put yourself out there in a group of something of interest that you enjoy. Let your friends set you up. Go socialize. This is a more social kind of energy this week. Also, you'll find that romance and the attention and opportunities on love and values will be there, and it's going to be in the spotlight because that's going to be affecting your 10th house. So your focus is going to be on, how can I build my reputation long term? Who can I partner with that brings that out in me? Or does my partner, if you're in a bonded relationship, do they support my efforts to lead or my values that I hold? Powerful experiences here. Venus, Mars, Pluto canoodling, powerful experiences that can arise that will have long-term results, some good, some bad. It just depends on the situation, of course. So do pay attention. This first week of March is going to have some pretty big stuff happening. Wanting to look good for your own self, but also for those who look up to you. You may find yourself attracted to a particular authority figure or something that has an ability for you to look up to them. I will say too, this new moon could have someone, it's just an intuitive hit, have somebody in authority leaving, creating some space for you to rise up and take over. And that's in a professional way. I will say romantically, you're probably not as focused at the moment. even though we're dealing with Venus and Mars here, and it is about love and expression and sex and all of that, it, to me, this is energy is more about what can I do individually in order to show up in the spotlight, in order to show up in a way that shows my talents, my expertise. And somebody leaving, let's say your company, gives you an opportunity to step into a leadership role, a greater role. So if you're vying for a promotion, or you're looking for ways to increase your compensation, your income, this is a good moon to set those intentions, a good week to do that. Set those intentions, have those conversations behind the scenes, and then just see what happens where the announcement comes out, or the offer comes out in the next 2 weeks. Your charm will go a long way. Just be careful, because we know it can be used to manipulate, or others may try and manipulate you. So you do want to pay attention. Don't fall to flattery. And any public competition can lead to great rewards. So competing for that job, or even if you're in a sports mode, looking for ways in which you can best somebody in a friendly competition, that will go a long way. And you can also find great pleasure in fighting your way to the top of something. So yeah, use this energy the first week of March to be able to power your way through things. Sun canoodles Jupiter on March 5th. This is activating your 12th house. So if you feel like you weren't quite ready around the first couple of days of March, this particular weekend is going to have some beautiful, magical energy that helps to renew our faith and renew our hope. And if you felt like you've been battling uphill and slinging mud, and that, it's just been one fight after another, around this first weekend of March, you should get some form of guidance, some form of help. It's like, think of it this way: with Jupiter in the 12th house, it's like a guardian angel. You can feel as though some magical hand is guiding you. You can look at challenges. They can be seen as tests of faith, but really they're just building more muscle, getting you to be able to express your compassion and your kindness. And you may even receive help from strangers. And don't dismiss those sweet connections that you do make to your own inner wisdom, especially if you are taking yourself away, doing some meditation, or just spending time with those you feel is the closest to you. I see a lot of you Aries going away this weekend, that weekend of March 5th, and just giving yourself permission to escape the humdrum life. Some of you may also decide to sign up for a spiritual retreat or some sort of self-improvement that allows you to be able to release past hurt and heal from it, as well as give you some tools to be able to face whatever the next challenge is. There's a small element here where you could feel powerless in a particular area of life, but as you walk through healing that, you can then motivate and inspire others to find their power. So you can use this as a tool to be able to help. And I just keep getting that some of you Aries are in the healthcare business, that this is a beautiful week and really month where you could have an influx of people coming to you, patients, those in need, and you can actually be of great benefit. And having meaningful work or meaningful influence on their lives is going to be so beneficial for you and rewarding, of course. March 6th, Venus and Mars are cosmic lovers canoodling. They change signs into the sign of Aquarius, further activating your 11th house. So your friendships and your groups become even more active, but also maybe a little quirky, a little unusual. But I sense it could be very refreshing, because sometimes getting into that routine gets a little boring. You're wanting to mix it up a little bit. Now you can find your friends, or maybe you draw into you a couple of new friends that really mix it up and give you this, like, it's different, but I like different. And, it's not your average bear, as they say. You could find that you're defending the ways in which you and your friendships are. Maybe people are judging you or looking at you going, why are you still friends with that person? It's like, you know what? I like the way we vibe together. It's good. Some of you, if you're looking for love, like I say, single Aries, look no further than your friends and your groups that you belong to, but also think of it in different ways. Specifically, some of you Aries have a friend who you never thought of anything more than just friendship. This month, I feel it could shift where you look at me and go, why didn't I see you like that before? Let's date. And that'll be fun for you. You may also look for ways in which you can bring out a greater humanitarian effort, really drive that cause or that benefit forward, that allows you to make a great impact on society and on the world. Do watch that your social calendar is going to shift and change. It's going to be pretty busy. You're going to have to work with boundaries, which may be a little difficult with all the Piscean energy, especially when Mercury enters Pisces on March 10th and further activating that 12th house. It may be difficult for you to keep things as structured as they might need to be. However, I know, Aries, that you can do this. Because when Mercury enters Pisces, it has a tendency to make us feel a little directionless. And for you, that's not always a comfortable thing. And you may be looking for direction about issues that need logical explanations. And so it's a little frustrating if you don't see it as a game, but if you can make it fun, if you can make it into this beautiful art form, if you will, then you can find that sense of directionless as an adventure versus a frustration. It's possible too, during this time, you can find yourself lost in daydreams, but if you use them for accessing creative solutions to problems that have held you, maybe you felt like a prisoner to things that you were helpless to, this is a great time to access new information that wasn't there before. Do pay attention to your clairvoyant hits, the telepathic information that comes in. And I'll speak to the romantic side of things. If you're looking for confirmation, is this person my person? Then just notice how the two of you vibe as far as telepathically, where you're finishing each other's sentences or you say something at the same time. Those kinds of things could show up to give you confirmation. Yeah, we're really good together and we do vibe. Also, you get a feeling like, I think this person is good. If you're in a bonded relationship, you two, if you've been maybe cross purposes, you've had conversations that just haven't felt like they were on the same page, you can find that with Mercury in Pisces now, that you start to get back on the same page, especially if you're creating this beautiful picture for the two of you. And hey, let's imagine that we won the lottery. What would we do with it? I'm sure there's a humanitarian effort that we could get involved in and we can save somebody or something, probably animals, knowing you, Aries, but I digress. And this can really give you two something, a cause that you can both get on board with. And when when Mercury is in Pisces, it has this wonderful ability to be able to paint pretty pictures that aren't usually true. A lot of it's illusory. And so we do have to watch out for deception and things like that. And we don't want to deceive ourselves here. But what I can say, it's a great time also if you're looking for ways to soften and have greater compassion or greater gentleness in your conversations, in your connections with others. Some of you may use this time with Mercury and Pisces to take on a healing form, learn about it, get licensed in it, or get some sort of certification. The Sun will conjunct Neptune. It canoodles with Neptune on March 13th, further activating your 12th house. So any form of escapism it can be beneficial. Do watch out for the negative side of escapism, like drugs, alcohol, that sort of thing, substance abuse, right? But escapism through anything that inspires you, gives you a greater capacity to use your healing gifts, is really blessed at this time. So if you're trying to find that meaning, like what impact, how can I really show up in the world? March 13th, when the Sun is canoodling with Neptune, you may be able to finally get that out because you're looking at it from, I want to use my gifts to heal or make something, show people how compassionate, how kind I am. Imagination fuels desire. Idealism feeds yearning for something more than this tangible reality. You may be looking around going, I don't like what I see right now. How do I fix this or how do I change it? And again, daydream a little bit and give yourself permission to go, why not? Otherworldly subjects can energize you. Aliens, right? I love aliens, pyramids, whatever, something that seems out there that can give you some inspiration. So take yourself to the movies or watch a movie, like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or whatever, just something that's different. And if you're looking for ways to get more inspired or ways in which you can do greater healing, maybe just the escapism helps you heal because you've lost some of your faith and hope in humanity because of what's going on in our world right now. Gentleness, sweetness will come back. We have a Virgo full moon on March 18th. This is going to be in your 6th house. So the moon will be in your 6th house, the sun will be in your 12th. When we have these opposing forces, this is a time to release, let go. In that 6th house, it's about habits, health concerns, or maybe there's a health issue that you've been ignoring that you really need to face, that this is a time where you find the solution to deal with it. This also has to do with our daily routines, our coworkers. And so you may see some people exiting. Maybe they're burnt out and they just can't do it. And so it creates an opportunity or a crisis where you get to show up as a leader, or you have to help in the healing process of something being taken, or something leaving. If you are dealing with habits that are not healthy for you, then you may decide at this full moon, and especially because the sun will move into your sign and you'll be celebrating a birthday, you may decide that for your birthday year, you're going to release a bad habit, one that just isn't supporting your values or isn't supporting your long-term goals. So this full moon also is going to shine a light on a healthy way of dealing with things. It may be even in an unhealthy environment. You may be leaving an unhealthy environment, toxic environment, because it's just not good for you anymore. This would be a great time to do it. Offering your gifts to be of greater service. So you've been doing that work all, the beginning of the month with how can I have greater impact? What group do I want to be involved in? Well, let's just say you joined a group, for instance, then now they're saying, hey, I really love the way you do this one thing. Can you teach us? Or, hey, we need some help here. Roll up my sleeves. Let me help out. The full moon can also have you releasing something that, like a project, something you've been working on a while. So if you think there's one that has just been droning on, or you have a deadline, this may be a time where you wrap it up and you're able to get going. And of course, spring cleaning occurs usually around this time, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. And you may be taking inventory, physical inventory of all the things that maybe feel like clutter or just don't feel you're not using them. You may go in your closet and go, okay, I haven't worn this in a year. I'm just going to get rid of it because my health goal is to drop a couple inches, whatever. Or you reward yourself because it's your birthday, because the sun enters Aries on March 20th. And so balance and harmony reside in owning who you are and doing it your own way. All this work is paying off, that you get to shine. You get to be seen for all the wonderful talents you possess, being a leader, that youth, that life force, the vitality returns. So if you felt a little lackluster, you felt like there was no energy for you right now, it can return. Inspiring others to take action when necessary, because you can be a servant leader and you go where angels dare to tread, and others go, if Aries can do it, I can do it. Oh my God. Okay, let's do it together. You find that teams are a huge benefit for you. Now, I'll talk about romance again for a second, and that is single Aries. If you work with a team, you may decide, you know what, I'm so fulfilled with my friends. I'm so fulfilled with my teams that I work with, the people I work with. I don't really need to have a relationship right now. If that's you, fabulous. If you're looking for relationship, watch what happens when that life force really returns to you, and you will find that it's like the moth to the flame. The higher your vibe is, the more others will see it, and you can easily attract people to you. You may even have too many choices, so you have to decide, nope, not for me. I can see you very busy dating quite a bit if you're single during the month of March and even into April. If you're in I'll say, casual, new kind of dating, it's recent in the last couple of months, this month will give you some indication around whether or not it has staying power. So if you're on the fence, you're not quite sure, remember that telepathic information is going to be there. And with that full moon in Virgo, it does give our critical mind a little more oomph. So you may sit there and do an inventory of the relationship itself. How does that person line up with my values? How do we vibe together? Can I actually see myself with this person? And if not, you may release that relationship and draw in a new one pretty quickly afterwards. If you're if the relationship, I don't want to say casual, because it feels like you're ready for a commitment. Some of you Aries, if you are ready for that deeper commitment, you're like, yeah, this person I can see long term, then I feel you will keep on moving. You won't have some real deep conversations until about April, but you'll at least set it up. Whereas some experiences that you have solidify that knowing that this is my person. Bonded Aries. I just really feel the second half of March, especially when the sun hits your or moves into your sign, that you will feel this renewed, I'll say fall in love. It'll feel like spring, literally, where it's like everything just is brighter. You remember, I know bonded Aries, that sometimes we forget what it's like to fall in love for the first time, but you'll probably feel as though you're just walking on air and everything seems more colorful and it just feels good. And if there have been some conversations that you've had to keep close to your chest, you weren't ready to share with someone, watch when Mercury and Jupiter canoodle on March 21st and Mars will sextile Chiron in your sign, because this further activates that 12th, 11th, and 1st houses for you. And this is where ideas, dreams, inspiration, compassion all goes a long way to heal wounding. And so if there, like I say, there's been difficult conversations that you need to have romantically, professionally, friendship wise, this is a time where you could circle back around, have them, and it can give you, like, create some time and space. Don't do the hit and run thing, as I call it, where it's like, hey, you really hurt my feelings the other day. Okay, thanks. It's give yourself some time and space to be able to say, look, the other day or a month ago, you really resisted this idea and I wanted to have it happen. And can we revisit it because it's really important? And just, take yourselves out of time and space for just a little bit. Retreat back into your own little bubble and try to let go of how much time you actually spend and just enjoy each other. I see quite a bit of you Aries having these conversations and realizing how conflict or deeper conversation makes stronger bonds, makes stronger connections, and that's going to benefit you long term. And also, you can find that you get to support others who may be going through some difficult things, and that inspires you. Big ideas could be lost on others. That's why I say create some time, especially if you're trying to communicate a vision or an inspirational idea, abstract idea. Clarity doesn't always come easily at this time. So you need to take your time in dissecting it and maybe rewording things in a different way. But the bottom line is come back to intention, come back to the vision, point everyone back to that, even if it's on a personal or romantic level. What is our purpose or intention here for what we want to accomplish? Some of you Aries are going to be on trips during the second half of March, and I say go for it. Do pay attention to the news and what's happening in the world. Some of you may have to restructure where you're going, but definitely still allow yourself to get away, to escape, and keep things close to your chest just for a little while so that you can integrate, so that you can have that privacy and that real deep healing time. And it's not just healing, but that time to feel really deeply connected with whoever you're with, whether it's friends, a loved one, even though friends and loved ones go hand. But that trip is going to energize you. It's going to inspire you. It's going to be a nice reset that you have. But that doesn't mean you necessarily have to share it with the world right away. Give yourself a little bit of time to digest it, like eating a huge feast, right? You don't want to eat the whole thing. Sometimes you need to take a nap and let it just digest and integrate. So did I leave anything out? There's so much more I'm sure I could add, but that's where individual readings come in. So please like, subscribe, share, comment, and come find me at jamiedawn.com. I look forward to connecting with you, Aries. Have a great birthday month.